I volunteered at a lion lodge in South Africa, and I would say that my main responsibilities would be working behind the bar in the evenings and looking after the lion cubs. It was my friend who's South African, so I used to go there every year to go and visit her, and it was something that she booked, and I think I was just, excited at the experience of being able to be around these little cubs, being an animal lover. So I think that was something that attracted me to want to go and visit. Back then you didn't have sort of researching online or TripAdvisor reviews or anything like that. I think Facebook had barely been around, just for sort of the year. Because we were there around about a week. It started off as like a tourist visit, and then I think we extended our time from memory, where we got some sort of discount for helping out behind the bar. The interactions specifically with the big lions, they were sort of in a big, or an enclosure that you would go in and you'd be sort of monitored with some of the other guides that worked there. Whereas with the cubs, we were pretty much all left to our own devices, so feeding them obviously when they needed feeding. In the evenings we could, there would be guests, not many guests, a few guests sitting around the bar. People would come out with the cubs, we'd sit there and play with them. They'd run around sort of the pool area, they were allowed in the rooms. They were pretty much treated as sort of domestic cats. At the time I sort of, didn't see a problem, but obviously that's completely changed.
As soon as the interactions start taking place and start becoming a regular activity for a juvenile big cat, that means that the opportunity for that animal to live a natural life has been completely removed. It will never be able to be released into the wild. There's no option that that animal will be released or have some kind of conservation value, even if the facility says it will.
At the time there were 4 cubs, and I particularly felt that I had bonded with one specific who I got to name, which looking back is absolutely ridiculous. Everybody probably got to name, but that sort of pulls at your heartstrings even more. And for those days that I was there, he followed us around everywhere, or followed me around everywhere. I had him on my lap, he'd suck my thumb, he'd be in my bed, he could pretty much go wherever he wanted. Back then, you just thought, right, I'm an animal lover, the animals will love it that I'm going to be there to help feed them and everything like that. But looking back, the animals need to be in the wild.
So the tourist attractions are really just one step on this life cycle of exploitation, or in general just the commercial breeding industry. It really is just kind of this initial step before those animals are then sold on for something else. It really starts with the cub petting, the selfie opportunities, the walk with opportunities as they become kind of like juveniles, and then when they get older than that, that's when they're going to enter either trophy hunting or the illegal wildlife trade, or both. Or then they enter back into the breeding cycle as adult animals.
There is that part of me that would love to know that they're okay and that they had a good life, and then there's the other part that it would probably break my heart if I knew.
So we so appreciate that when people go on holiday, we're all animal lovers. You want to see native wildlife species in the country that you're visiting. And big cats, particularly in somewhere like South Africa, is a really, really tempting, almost once in a lifetime opportunity. And I think what we'd say is just really try and think about full life cycle of the animal and what you're seeing here. How has the animal got here and what will happen to it?
Just think, obviously, do your research and educate yourself on what is going on in the world. Don't be wearing these rose-coloured glasses. There are sanctuaries out there, genuine sanctuaries out there that you can obviously find through charities. So make sure that you're making those decisions, and just remember that animals are meant to be in the wild. That is where they are meant to be.
So a true sanctuary is obviously one that doesn't allow the trade of animals for profit, it doesn't allow breeding, and it doesn't allow interactions between people and wildlife. Those are the 3 things that we'd really encourage people to look out for, and if you aren't sure, please do feel free to reach out to Four Paws and we can try and offer some assistance.